Why are people so weird to me specifically? This tweet came across my desk and sent me into a bit of a spiral. I really identified with it, and I feel like it is saying a lot, and I kind of wanted to unpack it. That in and of itself is a social faux pas, right? To point out that something weird is going on socially. You're not supposed to do that. So I guess first, what do I mean by people are weird to me? I guess I feel liked at best, but never chosen. I feel like I consistently fail to form intimate bonds with people, whereas I see people form those bonds all the time, and I'm very aware of the interconnectedness of people that I associate with, and I don't feel like I am close with any of them the way that they're close with each other. I feel like I'm quasi ostracized from time to time. I guess I sort of feel like a character, but not necessarily a real person in people's lives. I'm not in any group chats. I don't think I'm in any friend groups. I actually have become kind of avoidant of friend groups. I can like associate with groups of friends, but friend groups to me is kind of a red flag for toxicity. I guess I can boil it down to people being like, oh, we should hang out soon, which translates to I enjoy the idea of myself as someone who would hang out with you, but we're never going to hang out outside of this like associated group. Or I miss you, meaning like it's nice to see you again, I guess, but I really haven't missed you or thought about you at all. Oh my god, you have to come next time. It's like there's probably not going to be a next time, and if there is, you're not getting invited. You weren't even considered for this time. At love you. Oh my god, I love you. Complete the meaning of love has been obliterated, which I it's neither here nor there, but it really just is wantonly thrown around with complete disregard for meaning. It really just it can mean anything from like, oh, like I genuinely care about you and like cherish our connection, to most often like you performed your role in this interaction and I appreciate this dynamic. I feel like I'm always on the sideline, right? I never feel like I'm a core member of anything that's going on. I also feel like I am habitually forming insecure attachments. And, you know, we can trace that back to why that is. But ultimately, I really struggle to get over that hump of like forming a secure attachment with someone and feeling secure in that attachment. And 9 out of 10 times I'm always right. When I call the vibes as being weird, when I say that the vibes are off, when I say that, oh, I don't think that person likes me, I'm always right. Every time. I also think it's interesting that I've noticed this my whole life. Some people can really get away with anything. They can get away with cruelty. They can get away with being weird, like objectively or subjectively weird. They can get away with whatever they want to, and they just don't face social repercussions, right? But like, I feel like if I so much as advocate for myself or like be like, hey, the vibes are off, or like, I don't like how you're treating me, it's like, you're done. You're done. One strike, you're out. I feel like I just perform. Like, I feel like a little bit of a jester amongst circles that I move through. I do feel like a bit of like a entertainer, right? And I am hilarious and funny, don't get me wrong, but I guess I'm missing that depth. And when I feel like when I push for that depth, it just falls flat, or I like get active pushback and I'm like, okay, great, like I guess I'll just be alone. And I guess this can all be summarized in like, in my adult life, I've never been invited to a wedding. Never. And like I don't know that many people that have gotten married, and I guess I kind of like don't associate with people from before college. Like I know a lot of people go to when they're high school best friends, but I don't really associate with people from high school. Again, like I kind of fumbled the bag maybe with maintaining those relationships, but it kind of summarizes it perfectly. Like I'm never a core member of any friend group or group of friends or social circle that I'm in. I'm just like a little island, a recurring character, if you will, not a main cast member. And I guess let's unpack why I think that that might be. I also, since college, have been operating in a highly network status, social climbing oriented industry, and that has really dominated my social circle. There's been times in my career where I've been like very hot and desirable and like on the up. And then there's been times where I've been completely like burnt out and like haven't done anything in years and like fumbled opportunities and like just really had that stink of failure on me. And people treated me differently. People that I thought were my friends were not my friends. And I learned the hard way that in a creative, social climbing, status driven industry, people really only value you for what you can do for them or how you make them look when you're around them. It's really rare that someone will stick with you through the bad times and the good times, right? Obvious answers: mental illness. I'm mentally ill, right? I've always been mentally ill / neurodivergent to varying degrees. So that actually I've learned is actually a big turnoff to people. There is kind of like a fine line you can walk with being mentally ill where it can be like quirky or fun for some people for a bit. When it gets real, when you really just start acting in bizarre ways, people hate it. They're going to cut you off. They're going to push you out. You're a leper now. You have leper vibes. So I do wonder if that is the root of everything. It's just mentally ill. It's totally possible. When I say that I'm mentally ill, I mean I have had very public, career destroying, reputation destroying mental breakdowns on social media, and I have truly behaved in bizarre ways and said bizarre things during episodes that for sure would make people like be weird with me. And maybe news travels, right? Maybe that's why. But I feel like people were weird with me before those. Like, I feel like people have always been weird with me, if that makes sense. I feel like I ultimately failed to form cohesive bonds and maintain those bonds during really important eras of life, like high school, college, the few years after college, or I fucked up those bonds by being mentally ill. Because honestly, like, as an adult, making friends is hard as fuck. It's really hard because like people already have friends. I don't have a best friend. I don't know if I've ever had a best friend when I unpack it. Like maybe not since like high school. I've been embarrassed before by considering someone you're my best friend and I'm not their best friend. So embarrassing. I will hang out with people every weekend for years, right? Every party, social engagements, and we'll have great conversations. And then I assume we're friends, right? We're not friends. What? That's crazy. And the thing about everyone being weird with me specifically is that anytime I bring it up, everyone's like, oh, no, everything's fine. Things are weird. I'm not being weird to you. No one's being weird to you. And people are categorically being weird to me, right? And I have made friends with people outside of like my industry, and it's been completely different. So that might be the root cause, right? People who don't want anything from you, who aren't trying to like social climb or like have a entourage of status elevators, they treat you differently. They move differently. So maybe that's it, right? It's not like I really can bring it up. Like I feel like bringing up people being weird to you is actually like a quick way to fast track the weirdness to become exponential and weird. Another probable cause, I think, is that I periodically delete and remake my social media. I've done this about twice in my life. I deleted Facebook like my freshman year of college, and I never went back. So that just everyone that I'd known prior to college, basically, just gone. And some people followed me on Instagram, so then I kept that for a while, but then eventually I deleted that and was like completely off the internet for like almost 4 years before I came back to social media. And then I also changed my number in my mid-20s, and I didn't really tell anybody. All of this happened. And yes, it was mental illness related. I feel like I really just kind of like obliterated any chance I had of like maintaining quasi-acquaintance status, because I do feel like we're all to some degree a bit parasocial with the people that we know in real life. Social media is how we keep up with each other. A lot of plans that I'm a part of get formed on social media. I feel like liking posts and commenting on stories and stuff like that really does account for a fair bit of social bonding that happens. And I'm reluctant to participate in it sometimes. Kind of gives me the ick. But again, I guess maybe I'm just being naive, and that's not a real part of it. The last thing I want to say about why is everyone so weird with me specifically is with some people at all points in my life, I've always picked up on an off vibe. They've given me a bad vibe. They've given me a I don't like you vibe. And when I brought it up to people that I felt closer to, I'd be like, hey, I get bad vibe from that person, right? I don't think they like me. I don't know if I did something. Like, they just, I'm told, oh no, they're cool with you. Like, don't worry about it. They're totally chill. Sometimes within a year or two, I am pushed out of that social circle and that person's still there. So I wonder if, and I know that the world operates on invisible social hierarchies and unspoken rules and stuff like that. And I'm hyper aware of them, but simultaneously completely indifferent. Like, I could not give a fuck. I'm sorry, like, that's just weird behavior. Like, be direct, assume good intentions. Like, why are we giving these things credence? They're weird. I wonder if that energy is really to my detriment. Like, I do wonder if my kind of obstinance in the face of that sort of is maybe like the ultimate social faux pas and taboo. But ultimately, you know what? I really do think it's just mental illness. Like, don't be mentally ill. Obviously, dumb advice. Like, but if you are mentally ill, like me, try to get on meds, learn coping skills to be able to engage with the world in a neurotypical, non mentally ill way. I'm not trying to be sanist or ableist with that statement. And it's dumb because people told me that, like, before I finally got help, that, like, oh, like, you might need help. And it just over my head because you're mentally ill, right? And that's just part of the disease, right? People really are put off by mental illness. Here's the kicker. I feel like when my status was higher, when I was doing better professionally in a creative field, in a very high pressure, borderline cutthroat creative field, and I was performing really highly, but clearly showing symptoms of mental illness, nobody had a problem. Nobody cared. Nobody cared about me or the mentally ill things that I was doing or saying or just, right? Nobody cared because I was performing and they were getting something out of it, right? I was performing my function as being a status, symbol, right? And I'm not even trying to sound vain like that. Like, I do feel like that's part of it. And you can see this with celebrities too. Like, I do feel like people enable mental illness when they feel like they're getting something from it. But as soon as it crossed into the, like, oh, I'm no longer productive, and that was actually part of the reason why my mental illness got a lot worse, just goes. Suddenly I'm a leper. So I guess that's ultimately kind of my thoughts on why is everyone so weird to me specifically. And I guess I'm wondering if anyone else feels like people are weird to them specifically. I guess my underlying thesis is that, like, everyone's just kind of weird to each other, and people are weird about that sometimes instead of just being, like, understanding. So yeah, those are my thoughts.